Hi everyone, welcome to Story Time with Mr. Ryan. I'm Mr. Ryan, and today we're going to be reading Pokko and the Drum by Matthew Forsythe. This is a story about the joys of making music. In Pokko's particular instance, playing the drums. But there's all sorts of instruments we're going to read about in this story. And if you have some instruments, I encourage you all to pick them up and maybe start playing a little bit. Let's hop on in, shall we? The biggest mistake Pokko's parents ever made was giving her a drum. Now, they had made other mistakes before, like the slingshot, and the llama. What a mess that was. And the balloon. I think they got a little carried away. But the drum was the biggest mistake. "We shouldn't have given her that drum," said her father. "What?" said her mother. "The drum is too loud. I can't hear you." "The drum was a big mistake," said her father. "That sounds like a wonderful idea," said her mother, who still couldn't hear what he was saying. The next day her father said, "Pokko, why don't you take your drum outside for a little while? But don't make too much noise. We're just a little frog family that lives in a mushroom, and we don't like drawing attention to ourselves." So Pokko agreed, and she set out as quietly as she could. It had just rained, and the forest was sparkling like an emerald. And it was very quiet. Too quiet. Pokko started tapping on her drum just to keep herself company. But something stirred behind her. What could it be? A raccoon playing a banjo started to follow her. So Pokko hit her drum even louder. And then a rabbit playing a trumpet started following them. But Pokko kept playing her drum. And then a wolf, who couldn't really play anything, but was very happy to hear the music, joined in. And Pokko still played her drum. But then the wolf ate the rabbit. And Pokko stopped playing her drum and faced the wolf and said, "No more eating band members, or you're out of the band." "I'm sorry," said the wolf, and he meant it. And then they all started playing again, and soon there was a crowd of animals all playing instruments, and a crowd of animals following them around, enjoying the music. And they were all following Pokko. "Pokko, your dinner is ready," shouted her father. No one answered, but he could hear music in the distance. And the music grew louder and louder, until the crowd swept through the house and carried Pokko's parents off into the woods. "Oh no," said her father. "Oh dear," said her mother. I think that's Pokko down in front, said her father. And you know what? What? Said her mother, who was just getting to the very best part of her book. I think she's pretty good, he said. And no one could hear what he was saying. But if they could, they all would have agreed. Thanks for joining me for this awesome story today, Pokko and the Drum by Matthew Forsythe. I hope you guys had a fun time reading it with me, as I sure have. And remember, it's fun to play instruments. And if you have a drum or any kind of other instrument, come on and pick it up. And be sure to practice, because music is beautiful, especially music you make yourself. Well, I had a fun time reading with you today. You can feel free to check out some of my other great stories on this channel, or for some fun activities, you can go ahead to veronalibrary.org/children. I'm Mr. Ryan, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.